US-Russia investment instrument to be used for joint American-Russian investment projects in sectors strengthening global stability and mutual economic interests. And by global stability, they mean drilling for oil, and by mutual economic interests, they mean not our interests. And not the interests of the one party that seems to have been forgotten in all this. The Ukrainians. Remember them? Other than that, it all seems to be above board and will add to the 86,000 conflicts and wars that the most peace-loving president ever has solved in the past 3 weeks. And all he stands to gain is a vast amount of money and staying in Vlad's good books. He's a tremendous person, a great leader, and has a tape in a safe. Very bad. And we think this will work out great. And whatever Europe and Ukraine decides by the deadline of Thanksgiving, which is in 5 days, no pressure. If it isn't exactly what Putin seems to have dictated, we will all be at war with Trump and Putin, assuming we aren't already. Happy days! 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nica@lbc.co.uk. If you are on WhatsApp, it's the same number as the phone, 0345 6060 973. It's 10:30 on LBC, the news headlines with Tim Daly.
President Trump has described his 28-point plan to end the war between Ukraine and Russia as not his final offer. But he's also said Volodymyr Zelensky can continue to fight his little heart out if he doesn't agree to the proposal. The COP30 climate talks in Brazil have reached a deal after discussions ran over time. World leaders have agreed on steps to accelerate climate action, even though they left out any mention of fossil fuels in the final text. And the government's announcing that rail fares are being frozen for the first time in 30 years. Ministers say the move will save travellers hundreds of pounds each. LBC weather. Rain in central and southeastern England will clear overnight. There will then be persistent rain and blustery winds arriving in the west. We'll see a low ranging from -3 in northern Scotland to around 3 degrees.
This is LBC.
Great to see you back at Specsavers. OK, could you read out the letters on the wall for me?
D-E-A-L-S? Yeah, D-E-A-L-S. Deals.
Oh, right. Our Black Friday deals are eye-catching, but the letter chart's over here.
Oh.
At Specsavers, we've got all sorts of unmissable Black Friday deals, like up to £50 off one pair of designer glasses. Offer ends on 7th of December 2025. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details.
How's the business going? We're busier than ever, but struggling to get the staff we need. Recruiting can be such a distraction. We gave Job Centre Plus a try, and they've really helped us out.
Really?
Yeah, it was dead easy. We got our own employer advisor, Julie, who helps advertise our jobs, shortlisted candidates for us, and let us interview at the Job Centre. We've hired some great people, and Job Centre Plus really took the hassle out of it, and there was no fee.
Brilliant. That's straight on my to-do list.
Find out more at business.gov.uk/recruits. Eligibility criteria apply. Train to Cambridge and then all aboard the paddleboards. Little bit different, should be fun. Or wobbly, or wet. The wetsuit's a good look on you, Steve. Oh, actually, this is very relaxed. Georgie's up the river cam without a paddle. Train home, that was such a laugh. I think I might even have a new hobby. Download the Thameslink Railway app to book tickets and save a third off group travel on off-peak journeys. Thameslink Railway, where every stop is a story.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Yeah! Dude! Clive says Trump and Putin are working in collusion and using the Ukraine war to bring about the collapse of the European Union. Trump's peace plan is nothing more than a ruse. Trump and Putin both hate the European Union and want to see its demise. Yes, well, they both hate the European Union, and there's great suspicions that they were, or he, Putin, was behind us leaving the European Union in the first place. Brexit. How's Brexit going, by the way?
Brexit's going great.
Glad to hear it, Nigel. Going great for you, is it? Glad to hear it. Merthyr Tydfil. Hello, Jeff.
How are you doing, pal?
Yes, good, thanks.
Pretty depressing, isn't it? You know, I was listening to LBC today. I won't mention the
all that, right? And provoked Putin. He wouldn't have been the sort of line that Trump is taking. You know,
we provoked Putin. Who said that? A caller said that.
By advancing NATO to Russia.
Right. Okay. It's all our fault. I understand.
Oh yes, nothing to do with Putin. And the whole program sort of melted down into this. You know, everybody they should accept it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people spouting Russian propaganda in this country, like a lot. And some of them are doing it for money, some of them are doing it for free, and some of them are doing it because the people that they love most in the whole wide world are doing it. And I think that's where, certain individuals, certain gas packs from the South Coast, that's where they come in. They love him so much, they'll just repeat everything that he says.
Yeah. The whole, I mean, it had all of this crisis really has coincided with old Nathan Gill. I didn't know. I'm finding out more and more about this guy, Nathan Gill. He's a bishop in the Mormon Church.
Oh, right.
You know that?
I knew that he had religion, but then my interest waned and I stopped reading.
Well, he'll put a new interpretation on. I hope there's no bishop bashing going on in this jail. Mm-hmm. Okay, but anyway, I've sent him a part. If he could find out which jail it is, I'll send him a box of soap.
Yeah, send him a cake with file in it. Has anybody ever done that? I wonder. Is that actually a thing, or is it just something that somebody made up for a film? Send him a cake with a file in it.
But the thing is, look, you know, all this talk about Ukraine, all of this surrender talk, you know, making him do it. Where was he today? Here's the irony of the situation. Where was Zelensky today? There he was on the telly going to a memorial of the Holodomor. The horrendous, the dreadful starvation of Ukraine in the 1930s, where Stalin was taking all the corn to sell it on the world market.
Yeah, can I just, before you go on, can I just check? Is this you trying to cheer us up? You're doing a very bad job.
Well, it's a very difficult time to cheer anybody up.
Well, I don't know. There's HAPP whiners in some corners of the world. All you have got to do is look for it. Stop doom scrolling, man.
Okay, I'll try my best.
All right, okay. And the best of luck with trying your best. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Give me a full report on how that's going. All right. There you go. I just cheered somebody up. 0345 6060 973. Ali says, just to think, forget the list. Imagine the videos of a nude orange man baby bumping about like a hot air balloon crashing to Earth. Well, okay, now I can't get that image out of my mind. Yeah. Appreciate it, Ali.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's see now who's been working along this. I'll be totally fair about this. It is Tavistock. Hello, Rose.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Rose.
Hi. Well, it's incumbent upon me to say, regarding the pile of waste near the river at Kidlington, it's not about the waste, it's the river. It's the Charwell, not the Cherwell.
Right.
We lived at that end of Kidlington. There's a big... Can I tell you a bit about it? I feel moved to do so.
Well, as long as you're moved.
It got built. And my sister and I, we were teenagers when we moved back there from a city environment up north. We loved being able to walk in the fields where the waste now is, although there were long walks there. And the Charwell, it flows on through meadows and then passes very near Oxford City Centre, past our school, alongside the lovely university parks.
Yeah.
Then it goes under Magdalen Bridge and through the Botanic Garden, Christchurch Meadows, and drops itself into the Thames at Folly Bridge. That's the Charwell, and it floods sometimes, here and there, into flowery water meadows. You know, I have very deep memories of all this, you see, from
Well, you paint a beautiful picture, almost like I'm reading an Enid Blyton book, Flowery Meadows.
Flowery Meadows, yeah. Well, I think of it as a city of rivers and trees. But an odd thing happened, Nick, a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago now, because Mum, very old, got ill, and I went up from here in a taxi because of my great big border collie. Suitcases on train platforms, he took the view that they were out to get his mummy, you see, so that wasn't very helpful. And anyway, I went back to the Islington house and round to Sainsbury's next day. She wasn't good, Mum, you know, and I was sort of all set to go back up to the hospital with my sister. But this isn't a sad story. It was a long while ago. But honestly, I've never in my living memory overheard anyone whistle or sing. I don't know if you know this very old song, "We'll Gather Lilacs in the Spring Again," which I loved when Mum...
Please don't sing it for me.
Pardon?
Please don't sing it for me.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, I couldn't possibly. Mother used to sing around the house when we were young. Someone was whistling it in Sainsbury's.
But does this have anything to do with what we were talking about?
No.
Right. Does it have anything to do with this mound of rubbish near the river?
No.
Well,
I'm terribly sorry. I just have the awful urge to tell the story.
Well, it's a story about somebody whistling in Sainsbury's.
I know.
Is there a better? Does it get better as it goes on? How much is there left?
Well, it's virtually finished.
Is it? Go ahead. Well, we've come this far.
And I thought it was a sign, you see, that it wasn't her time. But in fact, it was her time to go, and it was the next night, November 22nd, oddly enough, tonight. But I still love the song. But I wanted to say to you, Nick, you know, you said yesterday, well, you might remember you said yesterday, is it okay if you say cheers, my dear?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a feminist, and yeah, it's fine. It's such a warm.
And I don't think about doing it. It just sort of comes out. And I don't do it to men, though. Although, in my defence, the person through the glass, whoever that happens to be, and they do change almost on a daily basis, I've been calling them my glamorous assistant for years now, whether they are man or woman.
Yeah.
And I sometimes wonder, because I'm introduced to somebody new practically every week, whether they have any idea that that's what I do. And they might take offence. And it only occurs to me after I've said it that might be the case. But it just occurred to me the other day, and it was about that Miss Piggy thing, that quiet piggy, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but I don't mean anything unpleasant by it. I only usually say it when I've enjoyed the conversation.
Well, that's what it feels like,
right.
You see, and I think that's what it's about. Well, you know where it's coming from. We know where it's coming from. Well, I speak for myself, really. I mean, it would be just as good if you said, thanks, Rose, cheers, mate.
But that wouldn't sound right, though, would it?
Oh,
cheers, mate.
Yeah, it would to me, but cheers, my dear, it's sort of even nicer, really.
Right.
There's a warmth about it,
yeah.
I think.
Like, if I said quiet piggy, then there's nothing really positive about that, is there?
It's disgusting,
you wouldn't,
actually, isn't it?
You wouldn't go away feeling happy if you heard me say that.
Well, I'd never speak to you again, would I?
Well, no, quite. And with good reason, yeah. All right. Good talking to you, Rose.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to say it. Cheers, my dear.
Bye.
0345 6060 973. Lewis says, I love how obsessed you are with Donny, and 3 emoticons of a little round face laughing so much it's crying. You know, like he's 12. Communicating via pictures. 0345 6060 973. Croydon, hello, Paul.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, it sounds like you.
Okay, well, I just want to give another name for our friend.
Oh, yeah. I hope that guy does post that in, by the way, because there's no way I could have written that down. It would take too long.
No, mine's a lot simpler.
Is it? Go on.
Yeah. I've written a song with this title as well. It's called Tango Man.
No, I think it's got to be a little more clever than that.
Okay.
You're on the verge of singing it to me, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
I'll read you the lyrics if you want.
No, that's okay. That would just sound like...
That would sound like
poetry. Poetry.
Well, it's like poetry, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a big no from me. And furthermore...
No.
But I wish you all the best with your song, Paul.
Well, it's not for public listening to.
Right.
I'm not a musician.
Well, you could just stand out. You could I want you to go to your window and open your window and stick your head out and sing it as loud as you possibly can.
No, I won't be doing that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the only suggestion I can come up with on the spur of the moment. Thanks a lot, Paul. 0345 6060 973. Tiago says, if Reform is worried about the cost of ear defenders for snowflake kids, why don't they ask their new sponsors to roll out some? JCB branded noise protection, perfect for blocking out compassion. Yeah. Huh. Carl says, imagine Trump saying Charlie Kirk's death. He was controversial. A lot of people didn't like him. Things happen. Yeah. Exactly. And Denby says, I am so frankincenced. Oh, well, you ain't heard nothing yet. Christmas is about to be cancelled.
What?
Yeah. And it's not about right-wingers on television in studios absolutely festooned with tinsel. And they've got about 6 Christmas trees in there, all blinking and winking at the same time. And a banner on the bottom of the screen saying Merry Christmas, telling us with a straight face that you are, because of the woke left, you are no longer allowed to say Merry Christmas anymore. It's not that. It's much worse than that. So I'll get to that in a minute. 0345 6060 973 LBC.
Sunday with Lewis Goodall.
Again, I think that the pre-budget period has been, again, pretty damaging for Starmer, for Rachel Reeves. If Reeves had gone ahead with an increase of income tax and thereby broken the Labour manifesto pledge, whatever sort of neat trick you tried to pull off, cute trick you tried to pull off with NI, I think it would have been politically catastrophic. I think it would have been damaging for politics itself, because you shouldn't make those sorts of promises if you're not absolutely sure that you're going to make them.
Sunday with Lewis Goodall. Sunday morning from 10. Listen on our free Global Player app or the new LBC app.
How's the business going? We're busier than ever, but struggling to get the staff we need. Recruiting can be such a distraction. We gave Job Centre Plus a try, and they've really helped us out. Really? Yeah. It was dead easy. We got our own employer advisor, Julie, who helped advertise our jobs, shortlisted candidates for us, and let us interview at the Job Centre. We've hired some great people, and Job Centre Plus really took the hassle out of it, and there was no fee.
Brilliant. That's straight on my to-do list.
Find out more at business.gov.uk/recruits. Eligibility criteria apply.
We had our smart meter installed a year ago, and it's made things so much easier. Not having to submit meter readings or having to deal with estimated bills is great.
A smart meter sends meter readings direct to your energy supplier. It means you get accurate bills, not estimated bills, and you don't even need an internet connection. Call your energy supplier to request a smart meter today.
Real testimonials voiced by actors. Eligibility may vary.
Are you a London black cab driver thinking of ways to boost your earnings during those quieter times? Why not consider Uber? We can give your meter a wake-up call. Join close to 1,000 black cab drivers already on Uber. Black cabs on Uber are priced by your meter, and the service fee will be no more than 5% until the end of 2025. Turn downtime into prime time. Go to uber.com/black cabs to start earning today. Terms and conditions apply.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
Well, this is about a decision on shopping. Imagine Wiltshire says, like you, I will never visit the USA while Trump is in office. But let's do more to show that we detest this guy. I've stopped buying anything American. Yeah, way ahead of you there, Madge. I stopped buying things American a good long while ago. In my little way, I'm doing my bit. I mean, there's pretty much nothing that is made by America that is not available in at least as good quality elsewhere. I mean, those, alcohol. You can get American wine, but you can also get wine from the rest of the world, like bourbon. Who needs bourbon when you've got whiskey? Jeans, there's no end of jeans that are made in Europe. Cars, well, it would be an unusual choice for this country to buy an American car with all the cars that we have, made right here on our doorstep. Other than that, I can't think of anything. I mean, there's not much food that comes from America, and if there is, then it's probably... Well, American food is what makes Americans. So choose your dinner carefully. Yeah, I'm way ahead of you there, Madge. Not that I buy anything really from America, but I try not to. I try not to encourage them. Best not to encourage them. Peterborough. Hello, Lewis. Lewis.
Hello.
Lewis.
Hello there.
Hello there.
How are you doing today?
All right.
Very good. Going to be talking about the Russia-Ukraine situation today. Very much disagree with the deal. It's horrendous. Like, the only thing in there that I can see that Ukraine gets is they're allowed to join the EU if they wanted.
Yeah.
Other than that, they lose their land, they have to have a weaker military, and they get the same security guarantee that had with the Budapest Agreement,
right.
Which, guess how well that?
Very badly.
Yeah.
That's the remarkable thing about this. America is saying, trust us. How can they do that? Because they let them down last time.
Trust us, bro. We did it before.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. It's a bit worse. Well, ignore that one. But, it's ridiculous. I would absolutely be, because I've been listening throughout the day where some people have said, well, would you be willing to pay more? So I would, through my tax money, absolutely be willing to contribute a bit more. I don't think people below me should. It's pretty hard to survive financially as it is, and I don't earn that much. I'm on about 32,000 a year, right?
£32,000 a year. Yes.
I wish it sounded like that in my bank. But other than that, I would absolutely be willing to help out a bit more there.
It seems like Ukraine is protecting us from Russia at the moment, because if Russia takes over Ukraine, if it actually does manage to get this deal, then it's not going to satisfy Putin. We know that. We know who he is, and we know what the plan is. And so Ukraine is just the first notch on his gun barrel.
If Ukraine was to get all their land back, and I mean all of it, Crimea, everything back, then I would be willing to go, maybe they shouldn't be allowed to join NATO if it ends this war, because at least it sets them back before 2040.
I don't see why. I mean, why does another country, in this country of all countries, people who support Russia say that Russia should determine which international organizations Ukraine belongs to? I mean, the people that voted for Brexit are actually saying that with a straight face.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I agree, and it's tough, because I want the war to end, but I want it to end where it's right for them. But also, at the same time, if they're not going to be willing to give back the land back, then bloody hell, Ukraine needs to be allowed in NATO. Without no questions, no answers, allowed into NATO, Russia does not get its say. You've taken land, and you've proven they need it.
And the bit about everybody concerned is going to be pardoned for anything that they have done or might do in the future. Well,
that sounds awfully convenient for that reformed deputy person.
Well, not him necessarily, no, but for Vladimir Putin and all of his underlings, yeah, that's absolutely a get out of jail free card. Yeah. All right.
Before we quit the end, there's also 50-50 Ukraine power goes to Russia, and also apparently America gets a load of earnings from this. But thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you for being there. Thank you for offering yourself. Alex in Leeds says, I know you're a fan of Star Wars. Do you have this on your ever-growing list of nicknames for Donald Trump? Tangerine Palpatine. No. I have others that are similar to that, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. I'd have to go to my big list, because it's a very, very long list. The Tangerine Palpatine. I like it. I'm going to write that down. One moment, please. Ricky said, hey, Ricky, you're so fine, you'll blow my mind, Ricky. He says, this is a great deal for Ukraine. They will employ the UK border force to look after the new border with Russia. America will build them a wall, and basically you'll have the Iron Dome of Europe. Well, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But thanks for offering it. And on that deal, you know, so they had this huge deal. It was a tremendous deal and a great deal, and nobody ever saw such a deal, believe me. And it was so great that no one you've ever heard of from the Trump administration was prepared to actually deliver it to the Ukrainians. Donald Trump didn't want to do it. Guy Liner Vance, Pete Kegg's Breath, little Marco Rubio, Steve Witless. None of them went to deliver this supposed peace deal, which was actually an ultimatum to give up or else to Kyiv So they sent the Secretary of the Army, Eric Baines. And the man is so little known that you didn't notice that I just lied to you. It's not Eric Baines, it was because he's the bass player in the band Chicago. It was actually Brett Simons. And it wasn't him either, because he's the bass player in Chicago that Eric Baines replaced. It was actually Todd Sherman. No, he's the drummer from the band Styx. Maybe it was Kevin Cronin. He was the singer of REO Speedwagon. Actually, it was Dan Driscoll. I don't know what you're thinking. Dan Driscoll sounds like more of a 70s classic rock star than any of the people I've just mentioned, who actually are. Rock and roll! And this huge and tremendous deal looks like it was dictated by Vlad the Insaner to harebrained Haystacks himself. Because eagle-eyed reporters who speak the language noticed that the deal appears to have been translated from Russian.
What?
Yeah. Luke Harding, out of The Guardian, reports that some of the phrases in the US's peace proposal appear to have been originally written in Russian. So Putin wrote it down, everything that he thought he could get away with. The Americans translated it from Russian into English and said that's the deal. The third point of the 28-point plan reads, it is expected that Russia will not invade neighboring countries and NATO will not expand further. It is expected that is a clunky, passive construction in English. The Russian version makes more sense and is a familiar verb form. So they just translated it. That's why it sounds so bad in English, because it was originally written in Russian. Other Russianisms appear to have crept into the text, including, but not limited to, the word ambiguities and the phrase to enshrine. And the White House acknowledged that Kirill Dmitriev, Vladimir Putin's envoy, wrote the proposal together with Donald Trump's special representative, Steve Witkoff. The pair hammered out the text during a meeting in Miami, and Ukraine and its European partners were excluded from the drafting process, like they had nothing to do with it. It's a bit weird, isn't it, to be excluded, because it's all about Ukraine. And the last time that Steve Witkoff, Trump's witness ambassador, went to Russia, he didn't take his own interpreter, relying on the Russians' interpreter to understand what was being said to him, which is about as stupid a thing as you could do, being an envoy. I mean, why didn't they just send out ditto marks to whatever Vladimir Putin said last? Yeah, whatever he said, that's our position. And we've reached it very strongly. What a way to run a planet, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Ealing, Grace.
Hi.
Grace.
Yeah, we've got lots of snowflakes around with people worrying about Christmas trees. On certain other channels and other media, people have been getting very upset about, as I think you mentioned a few minutes ago, what they refer to as woke Christmas trees, because Tesco is apparently putting the word evergreen on some of its Christmas tree boxes instead of the word Christmas.
This happens every year. I was predicting this in September, and you can set your watch by every time Christmas is just over the horizon. The same numpties start telling us that we can no longer say Christmas because of the evil woke left.
Well, what I find bizarre, amongst other things, including the misuse of the word woke by people on the right, and the fact that Christmas is in Tesco's adverts, you know, the word, they're using the slogan, that's what makes it Christmas.
You walk into Tesco's and you're up to your eyeballs in Christmas. You can barely see anything else but Christmas.
But I mean, speaking as a Christian, one of the things that strikes me is that Jesus spent a lot of time getting really annoyed with people who were making a fuss about really pointless traditional rules they had constructed that weren't actually the main point. Jesus is kind of saying again and again to people, you're fussing over all these little details and you've missed the main point. And I feel like the people making a fuss about what's written on boxes are a bit like that. They're making a fuss about what they're familiar with that's a tradition, i.e. seeing a word on every single bit of packaging. And actually, they're missing the main point.
Yes, entirely. Yes, but that's because they're phonies. They're not religious at all. All of these pretend Christians, they're not actually following the word of Jesus. They're using religion as a weapon.
Yeah, and that's what people were doing in Jesus' time, and he got blooming angry with them. Because, like, you know, you don't actually get salvation just by bossing people around or following lots of rules. Jesus was saying, you know, if people want to turn to God, then they need to, you know, set
a show about it. And in response to that, phony Christians made a show about it and said, send me $100 and I'll pray for you.
Yeah, and people, I don't know, clearly not actually trying to follow Jesus because they're not living out some of the things he did teach us to do. They're just caring about the people who are most disadvantaged.
Exactly. Yes, spot blooming on. Yeah. All right, nice talking to you, Grace. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, let's not get carried away and think that Christmas has anything to do with Jesus. It doesn't. Certain individuals will just use it as another way to try to make you angry. And anybody that did actually get irate that Tesco's left the word Christmas off a Christmas tree box, well, you need help. I'm praying for you. Not actually praying for you, but 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
itabidi nimeteleport 76 56 11 99 554 763 543. Doroka niende wapi? Si nimerudi, ilikuwa imenichuja.
I mean, it's almost like there's a line, an invisible line, beyond which you don't hold a door, and near to which you have to, otherwise it's rude. And for some people, the line is in different places. You know.
Or when you hold the door, you only open it slightly. So they have to wedge them. So they have to wedge themselves.
Oh, well, some doors are very, very heavy. Some doors are weirdly heavy. Like some doors, you have to be a strong person to be able to get in the building, and so it's difficult to, with one hand, hold a door. Say it opens outwards, and you walk in. Then you have to hold the door with one hand because otherwise you'll be in the way and they won't be able to enter. But some doors are too difficult to hold with one hand, and so the door starts falling closed. And it looks as though you're shutting it in their face.
Well, it's like fire doors.
Yeah, fire doors.
They're really heavy.
Right.
And I thought, if there's a fire, I wouldn't be here for like a good 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, but you need heavy doors to keep fire out.
That's
don't you?
true. Yes, but you'd be scouring the building trying to find somebody strong to let you out.
Well, I mean, I think I'd be all right, to be fair, Nick. I don't know about you, but it's I'll be all right. I keep myself fit, you see. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was, have you noticed birds of prey recently?
Birds of prey?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Well, I think it must be training season for the buzzards, because I've seen buzzards in groups of about 20.
Buzzards?
Doing this sort of, buzzards. Those ones. Yeah.
Wow. It was almost like I was being attacked by one at that moment.
And they train them in massive groups. They train them how to, hunt, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's quite amazing, because usually you only see them on, one on their own or in twos.
It must be a bit dispiriting being a buzzard, because you've got to wait till something dies, haven't you? I mean, if days go by and nothing has died, they must think, oh, to hell with this, I'm going to kill something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could see it that way. I mean, technically they could kill something, but they're just lazy.
Yeah, I
if you
suppose
look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's why you said on this show the reason why they hang out over motorways. They're waiting for something to be
run over. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just reminded me of an absolutely brilliant clip I saw of a crow. And the crows are very, very smart, yeah?
What have they invented? Nothing. They got a stick, they poke it in a hole, and they get an ant out. Big deal.
I think you're thinking of monkeys, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, monkeys, crows. What's the difference? They're all the blooming
You need a posable thumb swab. But anyway, there's one that...
No, with their beaks. They pick up a stick with their beaks, and they poke it in a hole, and an ant comes out, and then he eats it. Can you imagine that? Waking up every day, you've got to eat ants for a living.
hiyo malfunction hiyo ni mingi. Juma huko unatoka kuna garage. Oh, si ulieka zile nini za kufungua manjia ovyo ovyo. Haki ya nani? Ya acha nitengeneze tu hapa mahali niko tu.
that during the Second World War, the Ministry of whoever it was, the government, maybe it was the Home Office, they actually looked into an idea to make black pudding out of human blood.
Oh, get lost. No, they did not.
Google it.
You're going to force me to look up something else now.
They didn't do it, but they apparently it was an idea that was mooted.
Mooted. Human blood. How would they get the human blood? And why would they need it?
From donations, I guess. I don't know. How do they get, the secretions of a beaver's anus?
Well, yeah, they used to put that in ice cream. I don't think they do that now. After I revealed what they were doing on this radio show. Disgusting. Can you believe that?
You had a major exclusive TV news program. And
time. Okay.
Something like that. But also, that lady earlier.
Hang on a minute. Would you like to hear the robot computer's information on this regard?
Affirmative.
Black pudding has never been made with human blood for any wartime or other purpose. It has historically been made with animal blood, particularly from pigs and cows. Oh, poor cow.
Okay, well, I made it up. Right. I didn't really. I'm sure I read it somewhere.
Okay.
On the internet at some point, so it must be true.
Must be.
But also, that lady that rang earlier, I really liked what she said about we are normal people. And I've said that before. That most of us are sort of really normal people.
Yeah, she wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, exactly.
most of us are normal, not you. Us.
Exactly. But then it reminded me of that Sting song from the 80s. Do you imagine if the Russians loved their children too? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that rings a bell. Which one was that?
Do the Russians love their children too? So the sentiment was, let's hope they do. Let's hope that the Russians are like us, because it was the height of the Cold War and all that type of thing. So Sting wrote, imagine, let's hope the Russians love their children too. But,
wasn't that one? That sounds like one of those charity songs, wasn't it?
It went straight into Sting's charity, his back pocket.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And it wasn't a charity song, he wrote it.
Okay.
But anyway, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about Christmas?
I've got very bad news about Christmas. Leave it with me, and I'll fill you in with all the details. Thanks a lot, John. 0345 6060 973. Paul in Sheffield says, regarding turkeys, I saw a cracking programme on the BBC this morning. An American bloke raised wild turkeys from chicks. A year passed. The turkeys really took to the guy, and vice versa. He said he felt a real connection. Sadly, they all returned to the wild, except one. This one was called Turkey Boy, who decided to peck his hand and claw his back, drawing blood. Turkey Boy then attempted to peck out his eyes. After beating off the attack with a thick branch, Turkey Boy disappeared into the forest. He was never seen again. Says Paul in Sheffield. What? What? And thrice what? I have no idea, other than I am absolutely sure that I am appalled. Other than that, no clue. Matt in Worcester says, like Rose, Nick, I like Rose, Nick. You are a sexist Neanderthal mansplaining for a living, you pig. Wow. Did not see that coming. Especially as he put a little picture of a rose in the middle of that message. I thought, oh, this is going to be nice. And it turned out not to be. All right, you want me to ruin Christmas for you? Okay, then. A super strain of bird flu is tearing through UK farms and could leave Brits without a Christmas turkey this year. Oh, no. Retailers fear the surge in avian flu cases risks wiping out supplies, raising fears of near empty shelves in butchers and supermarkets nationwide. It comes after more than 30 outbreaks of the virus virus across UK farms since the start of October. This is the Mirror. If bird flu is confirmed in a domestic flock, the standard policy in many countries, including both the UK and the US, requires that the entire flock be culled to contain the spread of the highly contagious virus. If they're going to get killed, poor turkeys, they won't be able to enjoy Christmas. The timing could not be worse. Hospitality operators are warned to expect turkey prices to be significantly higher this year. Operators may end up receiving fewer turkeys than they ordered, being sent smaller birds, or even being told that no supplies are available at all. Well, what are we going to eat? You know, apart from mince pies and roast potatoes and stuffing and carrots and sprouts and Yorkshire pudding and parsnips and gravy and cranberry sauce and ham and sausages and Christmas pudding and custard and chocolates and cheese and biscuits and Christmas cake. We're going to starve. Experts have meanwhile said the virus is incredibly fit, meaning it is highly attractive and sexy. Professor Ian, an expert on sick birds, said, essentially we've got a virus that is incredibly what we call fit. It's highly infectious, it's very well adapted to birds, which makes it almost a super strain. The warning comes after a supply issue caused one supermarket to cut its selection of turkey crowns this year. It means their extra large British turkey crowns, which serve 12 people, will no longer be available this festive season. Customers will instead only be able to purchase a small, medium or large version, which can serve up to 10 people, or 2 people, if you don't mind eating it on the day and then reheated for 2 days afterwards, and then in sandwiches, and then after that blended into soup, and then thrown away because you just can't stand it anymore. 0345 6060 973 LBC.
LBC.
When you go abroad, everyone knows the best way to make yourself understood is to just say everything in English, but louder.
4 beers, please, garçon!
If only there was a way that could work with your advertising campaign. Well, there is, and you're listening to it. Because when you amplify your advertising with radio, 40 million listeners every week get the message. See radio differently at radiocentre.org.
Switching to Vodafone full fibre broadband is now as easy as pie. Ooh, freshly baked. It's a walk in the park. Hello, little fella. It's like taking candy from a baby. Come on, as if I'd do that. With One Touch Switch, it's easy. We sort everything out for you. We even contact your current provider. Plus, we'll help towards keeping peace. Switch today to full fibre broadband with Vodafone.
Up to £200 credit to cover leaving fees. More information and terms at vodafone.co.uk/broadband.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Hello, boys.
Matt says, I've been... Oh, no, that's a listener with material. Yeah, sorry, Matt, you get ruled out. Scouse, the decorator of Weybridge, says, in the building trade, it is not uncommon for cheers, me dears, or similar between blokes, so don't be offended. Well, I'm not offended. I'm just concerned that other people might be. Might be. Let's see now. Weymouth. Hello, Jeff. Jeff?
Hello?
Yes, Jeff.
Hi. I rang up about something completely different, but I was listening to the chap talking about spam.
Yes.
Now, I was born in 1942 during the big business, and my mum used to serve us spam fritters.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah.
Fried in batter. And you can still get it now in shops, and I love it.
You can buy the fritters in shops, or just the spam part?
The spam part.
Right, you got to fritter it yourself.
It's almost as expensive as corned beef is these days.
I thought it was corned. Hang on a minute. I thought spam was corned beef.
No, corned beef is quite different.
In what way?
It's got beef in it.
How do you know?
Well, it says so on the tin.
It says so on the tin, yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. yeah. Anyway, the reason I rang was I was talking to your producer, and the idea I came up with, she tells me, was apparently already in business.
What's that?
Toilet rolls with Donald Trump's face on it, and I brought it up because I remember years ago that they came out with the same thing for Maggie Thatcher.
Right.
And she said she's bought them in Bristol.
Yes, I'm afraid you have been usurped, Jeff. That idea is currently in business, and somebody has sent me a roll of Donald Trump toilet paper.
Oh, where can I buy it?
There's a pic. Well, you can have mine. I haven't used it. Are you in the market for a second-hand roll of toilet paper?
Well, of course. No.
Only slightly used.
Well, they say used but not abused.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been done, I'm afraid, Jeff. So there's another £1 million idea you didn't have.
Yeah, well, that's the story of my life.
Yeah, well, keep trying. All right, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, on every sheet there was a picture of Donald Trump puckering up as though he was going to use his kissy lips. Your husband's kissy lips are on toilet paper, Melania.
I don't care.
She's not that bothered. Doesn't use that product. Well, she probably does use that product, but not that particular model. Randy in Romford says Ukraine shouldn't be pushed into a deal that only freezes the conflict or rewards aggression. Any settlement must protect its sovereignty and offer real security, not just satisfy US politics. The real reason is whether this deal creates lasting peace or simply pauses the war, and with my limited knowledge, I can't say for sure, says Randy. He's just, offering the benefit of his limited knowledge. Appreciate it. Let's have Matlock. Steve.
Hello there, Nick. Nice to speak to you again. Long time no speak. Hello there.
Yes.
You were mentioning earlier about the dominance of American accents in popular music post-war. I think it's a few things, but I do find it quite fascinating, as I think you find it interesting. Obviously, there's the dominance of American sort of generally post-war, but also you're spot on in the sense of the use of consonants, which tend to be much softer in American English and less aspirant, less harsh. So your T's are dropped.
Yeah.
And also slight nasality that the Americans often have, that sort of slight nasal thing, which helps often with production. There you go. I was going to give you a bit of homework as well. I mean, I feel like I'm bringing James right now with an answer to a question.
Wait, back up. How does singing nasally help with production?
Well, not necessarily nasally, but their positioning, technically, if you want me to explain to you, the positioning of the resonance is higher than in spoken British English generally.
Wow. Is this you explaining it to me?
Yeah, you're trying to. But it does help with the legato, the smoothness, as they sing. But there's also another thing, which is...
no idea what you're talking about right now, but go ahead, tell me something else.
Well, there's also the move to the use of microphones, which generally happened in the sort of late 50s to early 60s, when they became much more used. So therefore one didn't have to enunciate quite as clearly as one would have had to do in a big hall without a microphone.
It is very difficult trying to think of somebody who... there was the guy from the Kinks. He sang in a British accent. There was Ian Dury, of course, made a big deal about singing.
Well, Bowie did to an extent as well. He's quite clear when he sings, I think.
Yeah. Well, he had so many different voices, though. He had the one that was Anthony Newley, and then and plenty of others. It depends what song he was singing.
Absolutely. The homework I was going to set you, which I think is even more interesting, I've never really got to the bottom of, but I think it might be sociologically connected, is why the male singing voice in popular music has got higher since, again, the sort of 1950s, 60s. So if you go back to the earlier singers from the maybe even to the 70s, but certainly 60s, 50s, and previous to that, the crooners, even Elvis, the pitch of their voices is quite low, their singing voices, whereas now you'll struggle to find any popular singer male singer who doesn't sing extremely high, almost in a female range. And conversely, females now tend to sing lower than they used to do, which can be explained again because of the use of more microphones.
Or it can be just what punches out from the radio.
Possibly, but radios have been going a lot longer than that has happened for.
Yes, but I think the music in... No, I'm cutting across you.
Go on.
But the music business was less attendant to the needs of radio. And,
okay.
But
until when?
Until right now.
I don't buy that really, because all the female voices pre-60s were very high. You'd struggle to find a popular singer now who sang high. I mean, obviously some do, but not run-of-the-mill. They're generally really quite low in their vocal range.
Steve, I give you
And male singers are consistently higher. I think it's something sociological in the sort of matching of genders.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this